So I'm back and I'm super excited to be back. It's been a little while. I wrote a book back there, The Girl Your Mother Didn't Tell You About. I have been raising my now almost 2-year-old daughter and just getting everything back in order. So well, I don't want to say back in order because it was never out of order, but just continuing to progress and move forward because I used to be like very career oriented and very competitive with myself and meeting my standards and goals, and to just kind of still do that but shift with motherhood and incorporate my mini, my little with me, my plus one in everything is different. It's been a challenge sometimes, but it's so beautiful and I'm loving every minute of it. But I have my phone because it's kind of like my notes just to keep me on track so I can start to really get into the gist of how to build my channel and being able to reach out to you all, to all my Stina stars, and to provide what's in my heart and in my head and that I've been wanting to share, that I've just been kind of saving on my phone for too long. Now, I do have a little bit of background noise because my plus one is over there enjoying Blippi, but I have to make it work. So we're sharing a room right now. She gets the living room, I get my office to record. So here we are. But that's a part of motherhood, and that's actually what I'm talking about today. So in motherhood, and just like I've been in a lot of different mom circles and kind of nanny circles in different places, but what I can say that I've learned from just being in those circles and being a mother myself is that being a mom really isn't. People say, you figure it out as you go, but it's not really about figuring it out, because I believe, and just speaking for myself, but I believe that when you have a baby, like, you do have like your maternal instinct, it kicks in, and as you grow and bond with your baby, you know what your baby needs, and if you know yourself, you know what you need, and you know what your household needs. So that just all kind of comes together. So it all kind of comes together as one. So I was able to, I just want to, this video is also a little bit for moms. Like, I would say this would be so great before you have a baby or during your pregnancy, because what I wish I would have done a little bit more in my pregnancy, I did work and save to be able to cover my expenses and things like that, so I could stay at home and be with my baby and grow and write my book and do all the things. Like, I checked a lot off of my list, and I'm so proud of myself, and reached a lot of milestones, and some small milestones, which were really good for me and for my baby. And then going into the next year when she was so little, but I had a lot going on. So I was healing from a random knee surgery that I had to have. But I'm so happy that my body just went back like I never had it. So, yeah, healing from that, still in the fourth trimester. You have a fourth trimester after you have the baby, where you still, just your body's come back together, hormones, everything. So I was in my fourth trimester, healing from a surgery. And then within that same year, I was, going out and doing different things, and I would record here and there. But I was so obsessed with this article that I had read about not letting the baby cry. It can cause brain damage and all type of things. Believed it, took it on, caused me so much stress, trying to have me, and her dad was on board with it, so he was always holding her, I was always holding her, barely ever put her down, and so she got accustomed to that. So it became very hard to put her down. And I'm a single mother, so when he went home from visiting, or when we left from visiting over with him, it was like, okay, it's me and you, and she's expecting me to hold her all the time. And I would put her in a snuggly, but she was still too little to, just leave to me, just leave my baby just sitting there. Like, I didn't feel right doing it. So I struggled with that, and that kind of delayed a lot of stuff, because then I started to only work at night. But I'm like a night owl, so I can stay up all night and function and get up in the morning and care for my baby and care for myself and go here and go there and not blink or think or like bat an eye. So I did that until I tired myself all the way out and writing the book and getting everything organized and making calls and trying to go to meetings and just different things like that. But what I wish I would have done more of was to, while she was so little, before she was like talking and really running around and kind of like mommy, I wish I would have continued to like do, I guess I should say, like, build up my nest egg a little bit more, because it does really help to have those extra funds, because I was going off of the funds that I had. And then we did get into a car crash actually, so then I had to heal from the car crash, but I got money from the crash and I used that to kind of help me out a little bit. But it was a lot, and God was blessing me in unexpected ways. But it's still like, if I would have just taken that time, you know, of course you want to be with your baby, but you can't let being a mother overwhelm you in the obligations to the point where that foundation of the basic needs of the family are so suppressed that you can't really see how important they are. Like, you can't suppress the needs just to try to say like, oh, well, my mental health and oh, the baby, because that's only gonna hurt you later and literally make your mental health worse. And I didn't want to say it. I don't know why, but I wasn't going to. But I was having like chest pains and like my shoulder and different things. Just, oh, thank you. And different things randomly that I was just feeling in my body, and just like feeling tired but still pushing myself past that point. And I went to the doctor and they're like, you know, Christina, you're perfectly fine. It's nothing wrong. You have like basically these pseudo things that you're diagnosing yourself with that are not showing up. And I'm like, okay, so this is a spiritual thing. So I'm praying and praying and praying. And then my doctor, I came back one day and I was like, you know, I don't want you to think that I'm just trying to put stuff out there. Like, I really believe that it's something going on and I'm just stressed about it. She's like, well, maybe you are stressed and have anxiety. And I'm like, no, I don't have anxiety, because I never really, like, I'm not the type of person to feed into, I don't want to say it, I'm gonna say it in a way that's true to me, so I'm not gonna try to like sugarcoat it. So I don't feed into things that could cripple me and make me feel like, oh, well, woe is me because I'm going through this and I'm going to throw a pity party and I need to just take a break and I can't handle anything because I'm just so overwhelmed. Like, I don't feed into that. I always lean more towards like strength, and it's like, it's good to have hope and things like that, but I'm like, I'm here to give myself strength. I'm not trying to just hope that this goes away and hope it's okay, because you can hope yourself into a hole. So I went back and she's like, well, let's do an assessment for anxiety. So we did the anxiety assessment. She came back and she tells me, oh, well, yeah, you do have anxiety. And for some reason, that cured me. Like, I kid you not. Knowing exactly what it was and how broad anxiety is, like, it's like an umbrella. And it's so many things under this umbrella with me of anxiety. And I'm just like, wow. So this is not gonna happen. I'm not gonna have a heart attack. I'm not stressed. I'm not gonna stroke out. I'm not gonna have like nerve damage. Like, it's just anxiety. And when I said it's just anxiety, like, made it look so small, it just broke off of me. And I literally started to feel better. My skin cleared up and I lost this weight. I had like stress weight. And it just, over the course of this week, it just gradually fell off. And my doctor actually prescribed me for medicine. And at first it was like 10 milligrams or something like that. And I was like, no, I don't want this. And she literally had asked me, like, can I give you medication? And I was like, I really don't want it. I was like, just cut it in half. So she was like, okay, I'll do a prescription for just half, but if you need more, we can do it later. And I said, okay, but I really don't want to take it. She's like, well, are you going to let me help you or not? And I'm like, I don't want a Band-Aid. I want an answer. But that was the answer. So I knew what to call it. That kind of helped me. So I went home and I'm like praying and I'm looking at my baby and I'm reading the side effects. Like, you could be drowsy and out of it. And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm not gonna put myself in this zombie mode while raising my child. She's used to seeing me like mommy, and I'm just fun and you okay? I'm just like fun and silly, but sometimes we sit and we're quiet and we read, but it's just like, you know, who she knows me to be would have changed based off of what I read about these side effects. And I'm like, no, I don't even want that for myself or for her. So, Carlos, I'm still recording. So I never went, and I would drive past where my prescription was, and I wouldn't go pick it up. I wouldn't go pick it up. And then one day, I was feeling like stressed out, and I was like, well, okay, well, let me try it. And I go to pick it up, and as soon as I picked it up, it just felt wrong. Like, it felt wrong to have, and I kept thinking about being in the zombie mode, and I didn't want that. Like, that wasn't strength to me. That wasn't something that I was like, oh yes, a relief. Like, I was more afraid of the side effects than I was worried about having anxiety. So I was like, I'm just gonna pray, because with God, all things are possible. I'm like, God, take this anxiety from me and I'm gonna be all right. So I went home and I flushed it. And I have not had anxiety. I've not scheduled any appointments, and all is well. I say all of that to say, just trying to wrap this up because my baby is wanting my attention. But I say all that to say is, like, if you're pregnant now, just really pray through the beginning, you know, pray over your pregnancy, because those prayers will definitely cover you and carry you and your baby literally for the rest of the pregnancy, for birth, for life, and everything. And then just sit down and make a plan. So if you do have a significant other, if you are able to work in co-parenting and you can talk to the parent, the father, you know, sit down and talk with him and make a plan for the family. If you have your husband, you know, sit down and make a plan, and just remove ego out of it and think about the bigger picture and the, like, love with rose-colored glasses. Seriously, realistic rose-colored glasses. That's what I call them, because you can be realistic, but still think about the best. Pray about the best. Put down the best that you want, and it will all come to be. Now, I am still building and getting things together, and I had to take a break from, like, business, so to speak, to get my YouTube channel together and get these partnerships. But in the midst of it all, I was able to do an interview for the Human Coalition. I was able to do our first mother-daughter photo shoot. I was able to write my book and get some wonderful reviews. So if you haven't already read it and brought it, The Girl Your Mother Didn't Tell You About, it's on Amazon, and it's truly a great book. I know it might come off as biased, but it's truly a great book, and I've been so blessed that different people who have read the book that I don't even know have left wonderful reviews and have loved it. People who do know me have loved it and reached out to me like, oh my God, this is like such a great book, I want it more. And it just makes me just feel so overjoyed, and my heart just smiles that I've created something that can, you know, help and inspire and really just be a good addition to your library, to your head and heart. So I'm really blessed that my book is doing that and will continue to do that. But overall, again, I say, overall, just sit down, make a plan. Don't let life overwhelm you. It's easier said than done, but it's also easier to get overwhelmed by life than it is to take control of life. So you can easily take control of life and see kind of where you're at. Then, like, it's easier to do that than to get out of, like, life beating you down and throwing on all these monkey wrenches, and you feeling like, oh my goodness, this is happening, and you just kind of want to scrap it all and start fresh. You don't have to do that if you really just lay it all out. And even if you feel like your life is like hectic now and you got a lot of stuff going on, take that time to lay it all out and get it together, because that's what my next video is going to be about. Just getting the head and the household together, but on paper, and coming up with a good plan, because my plan has truly carried me so far, and through the pandemic, through having my baby, through a breakup, just so much. And there was a really good solid plan, and also in partnership with God. So I'm never going to take God out of it, because that way he'll never leave you. You never take him out, he'll never leave you. So he won't even leave you if you tried. But I'm getting ready to go with my +1. I don't want to seem like I'm kind of rambling, and I think I have a Dorito on my knee. So I have to go get this Dorito off my knee. But I will talk to y'all sooner than later, and you have a great rest of your day.